Welcome to Keto Life Support, where we make your keto life sustainable, fun, and low stress. I'm Kim Howerton, and I'll be coming to you weekly with some of my keto besties to bring you the practical, real-world keto advice that you need. Quick disclaimer, I am not a doctor, and even if we do have a doctor in the house from time to time, he or she is not your doctor, and nothing we say on this show should be taken as medical advice. Always check in with a trusted medical professional about your own personal medical concerns.
Hello and welcome to Keto Life Support. This is Kim Howerton and this is episode number 110. And in this episode, we're going to talk about normalizing not. What does that mean, Kim? It's weird. It's a weird thing to say. Well, here's what I mean. Have you ever been in a disagreement with somebody in a relationship in your life where you said you would do something and then you kind of didn't really do it, but you were trying? I'm trying, right? It generally said in a whining voice, right? Well, we have those disagreements inside ourselves, I think, so much more than we have them with other people. And so if you know what I'm talking about with other people, then certainly you've experienced this internally. I hope you can stay with me through this discussion. It's a little bit maybe folded in on itself, but we'll get there, I promise. So people confuse trying with like being a good person. Like if we aren't trying, we're not a good person, that we have like a moral obligation. And in this instance, I'm specifically, although you could apply it in many areas, I'm specifically talking about like trying to lose weight. That if we have 20 pounds on our body that we feel like should be gone, that if we aren't always trying to lose that, then we're not, like we're slacking. We're a slacker, total slacker, right? Like I get clients, and I was one of these people too, so I identify with it, but I get clients, who are in their 60s and 70s, when I try to put them at maintenance, which is, hey, you're going to be in a period of time where you're not trying to lose weight for a little bit. They don't know how to deal. They don't know how to go about their day. Everything is very confusing because for their entire life, pretty much, their orientation has been that anything regarding food or exercise or anything really should be oriented towards trying to lose weight. That it is something that we are never supposed to be free of if there is any extra weight on our body. But because, that's ridiculous, our bodies and our psyches and our kind of underpinnings will often take the reins. And this might be, say you have a history of restrict and binge, right? You go through periods where you're trying very hard, you're making some progress, you're eating very little, and then your whatever part of you that is the rebel inside is like, well, screw this, we're going to Popeyes, right? We're doing something else here. And so then you might have like a decade-long binge, because there's another part of you that is not down with this. But at the same time, you still wake up every day thinking you should lose weight or, just distracting yourself from the reality that you feel to lose weight. And so, then you might be in a cycle like I was in for a long time, which is, every Sunday night I'd be planning that Monday, I'm going to get on it. I'm going to fix this on Monday. Or after this meal, then I'm back to the diet, right? It's like, no, I might have transgressed, but I have confessed my sins and I'm a good person and I'm going to get back to it right now until an hour later when I ate the box of donuts, right? Like, it's like just this constant. So it's like, it's that bad relationship dynamic. It could be like a romantic partner. It could be a parent. It could be a friend group, yeah, this has certainly happened with friend groups, right? Like you're all on a diet together, And, if you were the one eating more than a salad, you'd feel like I'm going to get comments or at least looks or maybe like, must be nice, It's like your weight is a bomb that can be thrown in your face at any time. So you got to be like suited up with your protective gear by showing that you're trying. It's like making jokes about yourself so no one else can make jokes about you. You're getting it in first, right? You have to constantly show the effort. But girl, stop with the performance theater. That's what I'm here to say. Okay, maybe you haven't heard that term performance theater, but does it make sense? It's like the world is a stage and you're always acting because you're always having this internal, external dialogue about having to look like you're trying, either for somebody else. And girl, if it is somebody else, get out of that relationship or put them at more of a distance. If it's like a family member, like don't talk about weight or food with them, maybe not even eat with them, right? But like distance yourself from this person, at least in the ways that your weight is affected. And then acknowledge that this is probably more of a relationship with yourself issue. And then you are going to have to deal with this. It does need to be dealt with to have a good life. And I have, just some reality words here. And I've talked about similar subjects before, but I feel like this needs to be talked about a lot. And that is whatever you are not changing, you are choosing. There is no such thing as try. Try is just like a judgment. I mean, I'm going full Yoda here, right? There is no try. You're either doing something or you're not doing something. Because if say you're trying, but you're not getting the outcome, then you're not doing it. And what I'm here to say, because I didn't know this was an option for a really long time, what I'm here to say is that it's okay to say no. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not on a diet. No, I'm not trying to lose weight right now. Even if you're 50 pounds overweight, 100 pounds overweight, whatever. It's all right to have periods of time where you're just being a person. Does that mean you have to reject that you will eventually have a goal and you're going to want to improve your health and improve your life and improve all sorts of things? Of course not. But we're not always doing it. If you're in school, sometimes it's summer vacation. But when we don't normalize our no, we end up living on two cycles, diet and binge, instead of like just eat like a healthy person and maintain for a while. So I guess I want us all to just stop doing the thing where we think trying matters. I mean, in some circumstances, of course it matters. But in this circumstance, there's no morality diet, right? Police, like, oh, you're trying, so you're a better person. No, it's like, I'm trying to cross the street. Did you get across the street? Like, that's what really matters. I'm trying to get out of bed this morning. Okay, but are you up? Right? So we have to acknowledge that if something isn't happening, and sometimes getting something to happen takes multiple attempts. I'm not suggesting there isn't guess and check and redesign here. But if you're not making progress to your goals and you're just doing the same thing over and over again, you would be better off acknowledging that you're not making progress to your goal. Doesn't matter if you're trying or not. Doesn't matter. And so then instead you can say, hey, I ultimately would like to lose X amount of weight or do X thing or fit in X size, whatever it is that you feel like is what you're trying to accomplish. And I seem not to be doing it now. And then you can look at how does it feel to say, I'm not working on that goal right now. It's not a priority. It's an ultimate thing that I would like to work on, but it's not currently a priority. And just live in the know of it. And think, what will it take to make it a reality rather than a trying? Plan it and then execute it. And it's okay until you're ready to execute it to say no. For a long time, I wasn't ready to exercise. Would I have been better off exercising? Of course I would have. But I just got okay with the fact that I was a no about it. And then when I was a yes about it, I made a plan and I moved forward. But pretending that you're a yes when you're really a no, it's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. So I want to normalize not, to normalize your no, to acknowledge you're not doing something and make that totally fine. Because if we spend months, years, decades trying, and we get used to trying when trying has almost no meaning, Because let's just acknowledge that for a lot of us, trying just means I feel appropriately bad about myself currently. Right? I'm trying to lose weight is code for many of us that says, I know that I am unacceptable, but I'm trying to not be unacceptable. But are you? I mean, I don't think you're unacceptable. I just want to get that clear. But like, let's just stop. Can we stop? I would love to stop. I would like you to stop as well. If this resonated with you, I hope it did. But it's okay to say, not right now. Now, I'm not encouraging any of you to stop doing something that's working. I'm simply encouraging you to get honest with yourself, to be honest about what's actually happening, and to stop thinking that trying makes any difference in the grand scheme of things compared to doing. All right, guys, have a great week. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Keto Life Support. Want more information? Want show notes? Want to suggest a topic? Just head over to ketolifesupport.com. That's where all that kind of thing can go on. By the way, I have a request. If you could go to your podcast host and hit subscribe, we would really, really appreciate it. And what would be even more awesome is if you could write a review. And what would be even more awesome than that is if you could write like a really flattering review. Just asking, you do you. All right. So thanks so much for joining us. I'm thrilled that you're part of the Keto fam. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.